It's DTS 118, and hard mode for the raid comes out next week, plus Festival of the Lost right around the corner.
You're listening to Destiny the Show.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to Destiny the Show, the Destiny news podcast to keep you, the Guardian, ahead of the curve in the world of Destiny. I'm BBK Dragoon, joined as always by my awesome co-host, Ditty. What was your favorite thing in Destiny this week?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Iron Banner because I had a lot of fun with this new refreshed Iron Banner. I got a lot of good loot, got a pretty good roll on the Clever Dragon, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. Also did some trials as well, so basically just a ton of PvP again this week. I'm still enjoying it, and yeah, it was a good time.
Nice. I had two awesome favorite things this week. First, going to the Lighthouse with Aura and Sassy. I got enough of the ornaments now for the Warlock helmet and the Titan shoulder wings, so they glow. Nice. It's so rad. And second favorite thing was running the raid with some members of the Pineapple Boys and our Destiny the Show Discord. We got through the whole thing. I think it was first try on every fight, so shout outs to that crew. A whole lot of fun. And if this raid is done with people who know the mechanics, you can just wipe it in like 40 minutes, like go right through it start to end, 45, awesome. 50 minutes. So.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I said when the first run came through, the world's first time came through, and like, yeah, we're going to get this under an hour once we get a crew that really knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And if any of our listeners are struggling to complete the raid or don't have teammates to run it with, make sure you check out our Destiny the Show Discord. You can go to discord.me/Destiny the Show and join over 900 other Guardians who are talking and chatting about Destiny throughout the week. We've got an Xbox One and PlayStation 4 LFG channel where we put together teams. I know Iron Banner, there were a few squads running this last week. I didn't play a whole lot of Iron Banner, but that's what my Sunday and Monday are going to be doing. So, Diddy, why don't we hop into the news and talk about this refreshed Iron Banner plus hard mode, man? All right, Diddy, what happened this week at Bungie? What went down?
Iron Banner, of course. Just tons of Iron Banner, 4 weekly bounties per character. Supremacy was the game mode on a bunch of different maps, and it was very fast-paced, and it was quite difficult for some solo players, but once you had a fire team of at least 3 or 4 Guardians communicating, it was a breeze, basically.
How did you like mercies. No tempered buff? Okay, so the tempered buff is gone, and you didn't have to worry about the same length of grind previously, right? It was a bit easier to get to rank 5, you think?
Yeah, I think it was the leveling and the system this time around with the 4 weekly bounties. It was a lot better, in my opinion. I started off on my Warlock because, why not? And I decided to, play at my own pace. I played solo for the first day, and I still hit about rank 2.25 in about 7 or 8 games. I thought that was amazing. No. It was 5 games, and I lost 4 of them. So, cashing in 4 tokens at the end at the 5th win, or the 5th game with the 1 win, was enough to get me, 1 or 2 of the bounties, and enough to get a higher rank in the Iron Banner. And I really liked that. I also liked the fact that the weekly bounties give you guaranteed legendary gear from the Iron Banner. You get, there's 2 that give you armor and 2 that give you weapons. And it's different gear than what the vendor Aphrodite is selling. So I think that whole system is really awesome because it's just basically the game mode is throwing gear at you at this point.
It seems like this overhaul is more inviting to a wider audience of players. Do you think that's correct, trying to bring in more folks who wouldn't really venture into previous Iron Banners because they would say, hey, rewards aren't as good? That Clever Dragon is so cool. Same architecture as the Grasp of Malak. So if you get a really sweet roll Clever Dragon, prepare to see a lot of them. Once Aphrodite starts selling these, like in a few Iron Banners from now, they're going to be everywhere. Fantastic pulse rifle.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a Clever Dragon from one of my bounties, and I did get the counterbalance hammer forged roll with armor piercing rounds instead of the high caliber rounds. It can roll high caliber rounds, which is going to make that pulse rifle, you just know the vendor effort eat roll is going to be counterbalance high caliber rounds. It's just going to happen. Yeah. So that's going to be the one to pick up because that archetype of pulse rifle is top tier. It's really great.
I'm still using my grasp all the time, but if I get a nice enough roll of this Clever Dragon, I'll probably put it away. Just because the Clever Dragon looks cooler, man.
The sound effects of the Iron Banner gear or weapons is different too. It's really great because, usually we only hear that unique sound effect with exotics, and now it's in the Iron Banner gear. And it actually sounds pretty dang awesome.
Next week, something's happening to Wrath of the Machine, Ditty.
Heroic mode.
Yes. So on October 18th, which was a week from when this show is going live, hop back into the raid and see if you can test out the heroic mode. Ditty mentioned we'll probably be retweeting streams of listeners who are running it. So good luck. I'm nervous about this one, Ditty. How about you?
Yeah, I myself am not going to be attempting world's first here for the heroic mode because let's think about this. With this launch, we know the maximum light level is being increased to 400. Yes, some people are already higher than 385, but with this heroic mode, it's going to be a lot easier to get that 400 light. I say easier. You're going to have to complete the raid to get to 400 light. But for those teams jumping in, if you're streaming it, go ahead and tweet it at us at Destiny the Show on Twitter, and we will definitely retweet you at that time. And good luck to everybody because, since that light level is going up to 400, maybe that final Axis fight's going to be around that level. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We've been theorizing what different changes are going to be in this heroic mode in our Discord. So if you want to join the discussion, hop on in.
So I'm interested to see here, what is the accepted light level going to be? I'm betting 385. Also, start saving those Siva keys for the chests because why use them on the normal raid stuff if you don't need to? If you're planning on doing heroic at this point, just save them up, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it'd be interesting because, the cap before hard mode or heroic mode is 385. So, yeah, I'm going to have to agree. The entry is going to be around 385. So, if you're looking to do heroic mode as soon as it comes out that first week, so you want to be around that light level because, normal mode is 370. So, good luck.
Mm-hmm. The next Bungie bounty is happening Wednesday, October 12th. Oh, I think we messed up. The 14th, Ditty, is a Friday.
The 18th. That's when heroic mode comes out.
Oh, that's right. Okay, sorry. Brain fart. You heard nothing. Anyway, October 12th, which is a Wednesday. The next Bungie bounty is going to be on the PlayStation 4. It's going to be doing Supremacy, and they're probably crazy for trying to do this, but they're going to be pulling players from the chat.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that. They might do sub-only mode, so...
now that is a smarter way to do it. Because
if you have Amazon Prime, do your sub to Bungie so you can get that Twitch sub and potentially be in the Bungie bounty.
Dude, I was in Professor Broman's chat the day that they announced the Twitch Prime with the Amazon Prime crossover. I dropped my sub in there for Broman. He had over 1,000 new subs in a single sub train, dude. He was
That's
like
ridiculous.
Almost crying. So cool. Anyway, that's basically it for this week at Bungie, except Festival of the Lost is right around the corner, right, Ditty?
It is. There's no confirmed date yet, but last year it was October 26th through November 9th. So I think if we look at the calendar here, it's going to be the week after heroic mode comes out. So October 25th is that Tuesday. I guess it's going to be then for about 2 or 3 weeks. And let's see what they do, because they've said we're doing a Festival of the Lost again, but we're going to add a few different features. So it might be a little bit more in-depth than it was last year. And it's going to be a good time.
I guarantee it'll be more in-depth than last year. So if you weren't here, Festival of the Lost was this cool little Halloween event. Had some PvE bounty things that you could do. Things like sacks you open that had different kinds of candy in them. You could get the jack-o'-lantern heads. You could get some of the armor effects, the blood vials that make the little bird bat things when you respawn. I liked it. The masks were my absolute favorite part, so I'm hoping there's new masks in store for us. Things that could be like an Axis mask. Mask would be pretty cool. Efforty's voice actress or voice actor Ditty. We forgot to mention that, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe she'll be
voice mask, Saladin voice mask.
Yes, that would be awesome.
A wolf
Could you
mask.
imagine a voice pack for Crucible where you had somebody other than Shax? That'd be pretty cool.
Efforty commentating your PvP matches. You would love that.
Forever, Guardian. All right, so I'm looking forward to Festival of the Lost. It wasn't viewed as the most impressive of events last year. It felt kind of shallow, so hopefully this can implement maybe some new quests that are a little bit longer. But at the same time, the challenge mode for the raid will probably be going live, the 3 different challenge modes, if it's going to be like
that's
last
right.
year.
They have confirmed challenge modes for the heroic or for the raid. And
yes, that's how you're going to get the ornaments for the raid gear.
That's going to be awesome. Interested to see how they do each of those challenge modes for the bosses. It's going to be it's going to be a good time.
Moving on, the next thing I put into the show notes was a Reddit post by the Songbird, and it's called The Grinch Who Stole Iron Banana. I'm not going to read it, but it's really funny, and it had some great screenshots along with it of a Grinch who sits atop Fellwinter Peak looking down at Whoville. I liked it. I thought it was funny. It's going to be on our website, destinytheshow.com, in the show notes. Now, Ditty, what can you do with the memory of Radagast?
You can do some pretty fantastic things, but one of the most fantastic is you can deflect a spider tank's solar shot with the memory of Radagast. This is a normal fallen spider tank. When it kind of like looks at you and aims its laser and then charges it and fires its solar shot at you, you can deflect that with a sword and basically be a Jedi, and it's awesome.
I'm liking these artifacts more and more. Prior to Rise of Iron releasing, I was really worried about PvP. I was like, this is not... So upset the balance, man. But overall, they've been pretty non-offensive. I think the coolest one, the one that takes away your super and gives you extra nades and extra melee charges. I know Sassy's been using that a ton in our Trials runs. It's just ridiculous the amount of wombo combos he's throwing out, dude.
Yeah, and if unfamiliar with the Hunter wombo combo, mainly the Night Stalker throws smoke and a grenade at the exact same time in the exact same spot. Smoke locks him down and does pretty good damage.
It's a horrible feeling. You hunters, man. I know you smile gleefully from cheek to cheek when it happens.
I finally switched to a disciplined strength build, so my Night Stalker is pretty crispy in the Crucible.
A note of caution for those of you trying to do the Outbreak Prime quest, or at least trying to acquire the Outbreak Prime quest. When you reach the final room and you complete the Axis boss fight, and you're going underground to get that final chest, do note that there is a timer once you've killed the final boss that will take the whole party to orbit. So you need to get that chest before you waste time and do celebration pictures or just joke around, because there was this really heartbreaking post on the Reddit this week of a full fire team. They did all the monitors, they beat Axis, but they hung out too long, and rowboat 000 and whole fire team got taken to the end of activity screen. And you can't go back in to go get it. It's awful.
Because you've completed the activity. You have to do the whole raid again to do that.
The explanation was we were waiting on one person, so at least we have something to make fun of them for a while. Oh, dude, that person is going to be so... Oh, it'd be horrible. Hey, guys, I'm going to tower. I need to clear up some vault space. Oh, that makes me want to cry, dude. So, Axis, dude, it's been soloed-ish, right?
Yeah, so... It hasn't been soloed entirely yet, but there was
at the time of this recording. Let's preface that, because people are trying really hard.
Yeah, because I mean, it's been 3-manned flawless, it's been 2-manned all the way through. Now they're trying the solo strategy. The final Axis fight has been soloed through a single damage rotation, so that's all the captains down, all the servers down, all the charges thrown, all 3 stuns hit by a single person, and all the damage done, and to the safe zone, all the way through one time without wiping. It's pretty impressive.
It's now a matter of time, Ditty. After seeing this footage, it is only a matter of time before... I just can't believe it, dude. This community is so cool in that regard. The PvE side of things just... make me wish we had a raid every quarter, every 3-4 months. Here's a new raid. If there was any way Bungie could monetize it to make it worthwhile for them to do that, I'm there. I love the raiding content. That's the pinnacle of the design in this game, at least in my opinion. So
yeah, so shout out to Scardro, or Scardro or Scaredro. He's the one who did it, and if you're wondering how much damage he did about a fifth of Axis to South Bar by himself, and I think that's pretty impressive. He was using
hard mode, man.
Yeah, he was using Fireborn Warlock, so I think that kind of makes a little bit of sense that was the first one to be done.
So about a week and a half ago, more and more players were completing their Rise of Iron record books. And when you reach rank 22, you get just one Days of Iron ornament. Now, Ditty, these are the ornaments that go into the Iron Lord armor that makes the fire. It's the really cool looking armor that has the full fire effect. Players are kind of frustrated about this because right now the only way for you to get ornaments or silver dust without paying through Eververse is the heroic strike. You play one heroic strike, you get a radiant treasure. You can open that and you can dismantle the ornament within for silver dust. And that's sort of a lengthy process, right? If you want to save up 25, you can obviously do the math. It's going to take some weeks before you have enough to go to Xur, pick up what you want, and apply what you want. Do you think the silver dust economy is too slow? Do you think it can be improved? My sense and feeling of this, because anytime we talk about microtransactions, I wish there was maybe one or two more avenues within the game for me to grind for silver dust on a weekly. But I don't think it's a deal breaker for me either. It's all aesthetic based things.
Yeah, on one hand, I definitely can't complain because I did spend the money and I have all the silver dust in the world from all the duplicates I've gotten. But on the other hand, I definitely understand the pain. It is definitely way too long of a grind to get all the ornaments that you want without, spending that extra cash. And I definitely think it could be improved. More ways in game to acquire ornaments or silver dust, whatever it is. I think we've mentioned this before, but I believe it was Gathalion who had the idea of prestiging the record book. Basically leveling up the record book to the next level and wiping out the entire progress so you can do it all again for additional loot. I think that's a really great idea. I also think, adding some type of end of activity rewards or, completing those Iron Lord bounties that Shiro gives you every single week. Completing, maybe he has a fifth one that says, if you complete all my bounties, I give you 5 silver dust or whatever. Something like that in the game that gets you just another avenue to get that specific gear because, I'm going to use League of Legends as an example. They have 2 different currencies in the game. They have real world money, which is riot points, and they have influence points, which are acquired after completing matches. You don't have to spend a dime on League of Legends if you don't want, because they have things there that you can use your earned in-game currency that you've earned by playing the game for additional things for your character. Something like that with the ornaments or the silver dust, I think would be a really big improvement.
My favorite part of all of the ornaments is the Trials ornaments because it's encouraging me to play on different characters and go for multiple flawless runs. If you have 2 flawless tokens, you can apply it to one of the new Trials gear to have the new Trials ornament. And it's this glowing purpley holographic ornament that looks sweet. I love it. And that to me is the ultimate system for what ornaments like the idea of it should be. It's an accomplishment. It shows that you work towards something and you got it. When people are going to do the raid ornaments, I know that they went through the challenge modes and they got the raid gear from doing the raid normally or on hard mode. That to me, I look at it, I see the accomplishment, I love it. And I've praised the record book on previous shows because it's also the embodiment of that philosophy. You work towards 100%ing the book and you get that awesome emblem. And everybody who sees it goes, nice, that guy got the emblem. Or like the Scarab emblem from Trials. Those kind of things are fantastic. This isn't a hill I'm going to die on, though. Like, I didn't spend a single dime on Radiant Treasures because I don't want to. I want to voice my opinion to Bungie with my wallet saying, hey, not a huge fan of this. I would prefer if maybe all the ornaments in game were that way. But this is a systemic thing going on with every game. League, Ditty. I just updated League for the first time in 8 months, and I come back. The first thing I'm presented with are what? Those little treasure boxes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they also have that. Those Hex Tech keys and boxes. again, acquired through playing. You can also buy them as
everywhere,
well.
though, dude.
It is everywhere. But that additional thing, it is more of a grind to get there, but it gets you things, you know?
Okay.
You have a roadmap to how to get those different treasures, you know? You have to do well. You have to have really high performance in game. And this is just like, you know, it can be applied to Destiny, absolutely. Because you do really well in the game, you play the game, you get a reward. That's basically it. With Rise of Iron, with these ornaments, it's like, yeah, we'll give you one every week. If you do the heroic playlist.
Yeah, see, I would love a PvP side, yeah.
Exactly. If I'm a PvP player, I'm going to be like, no, why would I do that? Because that's something I don't like to do. I'm forcing myself to play something that I don't enjoy to get something that I kind of really want, you know? Yeah, it's like, I have no idea. But for me, I was thinking, I have to eat a bunch of licorice to get this girl to like me, but I'm going to do it anyways, even though I hate it. I don't really want to do that.
I'm going to use that licorice analogy forever now. I hope you realize that. I think the April update, and maybe you agree with me, did a really good job allowing the player to get endgame gear from almost any activity. Whether it was endgame PvP or endgame PvE, they really let you choose how you were going to play the game, and you could achieve higher light level that way. That philosophy has carried forward into Rise of Iron. I love it. That's sort of what I see with Radiant Treasure. My one suggestion would be, hey, if I complete a trials passage, could I get one? But then people would just jump off the map, and that might not be good. So that was an off-the-cuff suggestion that ignore. Maybe there's some way that you could do like the weekly Shax bounty, and that gives you, boom, Radiant Treasure. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. It's really something that doesn't matter a whole lot to me, but moving forward, the more dialogue and conversations we have about it is good, because we don't want these to get out of check or out of balance to where it's infringing on the player.
Yeah, it is kind of strange, now that I think about it. You know, the Radiant Treasure is only acquirable through heroic playlists. Before, it was you get 3 a week, you know, one for playing the weekly Crucible, one for doing the weekly Strike, and one for logging in, you know.
It was PoE. It was PoE. Level 41
right,
PoE.
Right. It kind of made sense that they got rid of just logging in. You know, they wanted to bring the population back for the April update.
Login bonus.
But they had a PvE route and a PvP route on top of that. Now it's just a PvE route. You know, it kind of doesn't make sense. You know, having that one from the weekly Crucible playlist, that would be a step in the right direction.
They've made a lot of steps in the right direction. I just want to talk for a second. I love Rise of Iron. The more and more I'm playing it, the more I like the end game cycle. And this is where the Taken King fell short for me. The raid didn't have many enticing pieces of gear or weapons, and it was long enough for me that I come home from work at 5, I eat dinner, you know, maybe hop on 6:30, try and put together a team at 7 o'clock, and if we want to go through the raid, we're basically on until 9:30 or 10 o'clock. And that just was hard to get 6 people together for me to do that. It's pretty epic, and especially when the gear at the end wasn't even that hype for me.
Right.
So that didn't appeal to me as much as year one, where I was playing the Nightfall on all 3 characters every single week because I wanted the Icebreaker. I wanted
on Tuesday too for that buff.
For the buff. I loved the XP buff. And then I would do the heroics to go get my legend or my strange coins, and then we'd run through Vault of Glass and Crota's End. So I see right now with Rise of Iron, I'm doing Wrath every week. I'm doing a Trials run every week. I'm having fun with both of those, and it isn't consuming my time to the degree that a King's Fall did, you know?
Yeah, exactly. As good as Rise of Iron is, you know, as players, we're always going to want more, and we're always looking forward to that next improvement. It's like washing my brand new car. You know, it's dirty right now. I want to wash it, get it clean. It could use that coat of polish, and once that's done, maybe I need to put air in the tires. Maybe I need to polish the rims. There's always some type of improvement that I can vacuum the floorboards. It's just that next improvement that I'm always looking forward to just improve my experience doing that thing that I love. And
Bungie continually looks for this type of feedback. I think they understand when the community is appreciative and thankful of the things that they do right, and I hope that listeners understand that both Ditty and I are really stoked with where Destiny is at right now with Rise of Iron. But at the same time, Bungie, they've said it themselves, they are their own harshest critics. They are always looking of how they can make the game better. And so join in the conversation, you know, let them know in a nice way. Constructive criticism is a whole lot better than vitriol.
Yeah, they're just going to ignore all the complaining and start to look at that constructive criticism. Bungie employees have said themselves, we play the game too. We would love to see an improvement. We wanted more content in year 2 also. We would love to go back and play the old raids because they play the game too. And they're always looking for that feedback, always looking to improve. And I think they're on the right track.
Totally. All right, man. Where can people find your content?
Twitter.com/Ditty, DTS, Ditty, DTS, and YouTube.com/Wooshness, WOOOSHNESS.
Awesome. Remember to check out our friends over at DestinyTracker.com, the best place to track your stats in the Destiny universe. You can go to our website, DestinyTheShow.com, for all the links from today and more. Our Discord is discord.me/DestinyTheShow, and you can follow us on Twitter at DestinyTheShow. You can follow me at BBK Dragoon on both YouTube and Twitter. And man, we didn't have our secret new segment thing that we've been teasing the last few weeks, but
We're still working on it.
Still working on it, and we also have maybe something new coming to the DTS merch store pretty soon, yes?
Yeah, we got some new designs in the work, and we'll let you know when that happens.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have an awesome week, and we'll see you when hard mode is here.